Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's just Clarice, and today we are just chatting about dating, and more specifically dating in the 21st century, because let's face it, dating nowadays is a lot different than it used to be. So this is actually a series that I used to call Let's Talk About It, but I like just chatting more because A, it's a little bit more casual, and B, it plays off of my name, Just Clarice. So we're just gonna dive right on in and go through some questions that I think a lot of people tend to ask or think about when it comes to dating. I don't have a crazy ton of experience. I'm not claiming to know more than anybody else, but I do have some experience from my own life and observations I've made of family and friends and other people. So I'm just going to give my 2 cents on these topics, and if it helps anybody, great. So without much further ado, let's dive right on in. All right, so I actually took off my glasses because I have a feeling they're just gonna be sliding down my face the whole video, and nobody wants that. So let's start with question 1. Does online dating or app dating actually work? And I would say that this is both yes and no. Online dating or dating through an app like Tinder can work, but depending on what you're looking for, it'll be a little bit easier or really difficult. So online dating and app dating is a really great way to meet lots of people and talk to them and get to know them and kind of put yourself out there. But at the same time, it is definitely a numbers game. Just because you match with somebody, it doesn't guarantee that the two of you are going to be compatible or that you guys are even going to be looking for the same thing. So you have to talk to people, you have to try to get to know them, and it can be exhausting when you're going through so many people. And that can be discouraging as well if you've matched with a ton of people, but you're not actually getting a lot of dates or having a lot of success with those dates. So again, it does depend on what you're looking for. I would say that a lot of people on apps especially tend to be looking for something that's more casual. So if you are somebody who is looking for something that could lead possibly to a more long-term or serious relationship, you're just gonna have to stick it out a little bit longer till you find somebody who is interested in that as well. And not only somebody who's also interested in a long-term relationship, but somebody that you make that genuine connection with. It is possible, but it could take a while, so gonna have to stick it out. All right, question 2. How do I start a conversation with someone online or on an app? So I would say don't overthink it. You know, I think everybody wants to be the witty person. They want to come up with a really clever opening line. And while that can be helpful and it can definitely be a good conversation starter, it can also leave you feeling paralyzed and not talking to anybody because you don't think you're clever or funny enough. Just be straightforward, keep it simple, say something like, hey, how are you? And ask questions. I definitely think that the best way to keep a conversation going is to ask interesting but light questions. You know, don't make it an interrogation. Don't ask 5 questions in a row. You know, ask something like, so what are you interested in? What are your hobbies? What are you looking to get out of, you know, Tinder or whatever app or online site you're using? Those are more open-ended questions. You can get an interesting response and then have a conversation start to flow. The questions will flow more easier. It won't feel so forced. And that's just so much better than, hey, sup, what are you up to? Not much. You, like, those conversations are the worst and they don't tend to go anywhere. So I would definitely say keep it simple, keep it light, and ask questions. Question number 3, do I need to start dating in high school, and am I weird if I don't want to? You are definitely not weird if you don't want to date in high school, and you definitely don't have to start dating when you're so young. I think if you are interested in that, then, you know, make sure you wait until you actually meet somebody that you have a genuine interest in and that you have some sort of compatibility with. Don't force anything, you know, don't just try to date for the sake of dating, and don't date just because everyone else is, or you feel like everyone else is dating as well. Because there are tons of people in high school who don't date, who don't have relationships, and who don't have any interest in doing those things. It's totally normal. I mean, honestly, you have so much else on your plate when you're in high school and so many things to worry about that it could be totally understandable that dating is the furthest thing from your mind. And honestly, some people don't want to date at all ever, and that's totally okay and normal too. You don't have to be in a relationship to feel fulfilled or to have a good time. You can totally have just as much fun and be just as happy with really good friendships. So focus on that first. And who knows, maybe you'll make a really great friend and a relationship will naturally blossom from that, because that happens too. But once again, you do not need to have a relationship or be in a relationship to be complete or fulfilled. And if you have no interest in relationships at all, you are completely and totally normal. Question number 4. How can I tell if the person that I've been seeing wants to have a more serious relationship with me or just wants to keep things casual? Well, there is no really elaborate answer to this one. It's pretty straightforward. You just have to ask. It can be an extremely awkward and uncomfortable conversation to start. Definitely don't enter it with, "we need to talk," because it's very cliched and it makes people extremely nervous. But you do just kind of have to bite the bullet and dive right on in. You should definitely be certain about what you're looking for from the relationship before asking this question, because they can definitely turn it around on you. So know yourself. Know, do I want this to be casual, or am I intrigued by this person enough and interested in them enough to think that there might be something really real and worth exploring here in a more serious, one-on-one, exclusive relationship. Once you know that for yourself, then you can ask the person what it is that they're looking for. And I'd say that a really great way to get into this conversation is, again, keep it simple, keep it light. You can say something like, "Hey, so we've been seeing each other for a little while, and I've been kind of thinking about it. I was thinking maybe we might want to try seeing each other one-on-one." That's a great way to open it, because you're not necessarily leaving the ball in their court. You're kind of saying, "This is where I'm at. Where are you at?" Or if you do want to keep it more open-ended and you kind of want them to say what they want first, you can just simply say, "Hey, we've been seeing each other for a little while now, and I was kind of wondering what you were thinking about us and where your brain's at." And again, it is going to be a little bit awkward. It is going to be a little uncomfortable, but hopefully the person and you have an open enough dialogue that you can get into it and get comfortable in it and talk freely and openly. If you can't talk comfortably to the person that you're dating, that is a big sign that maybe you shouldn't be dating this person. Whether it's casual or more serious, you have to be able to talk to your partner or whoever it is that you're seeing. Does anybody else get that thing where when you sit cross-legged or on the floor with your legs straight out for too long, one of your legs falls asleep? If you do, please tell me how to stop it from happening. I swear it happens every time I sit down to film. Question 5. What do I do if the person that I've been seeing or have gone on a couple dates with suddenly becomes really aloof or hard to reach? So unfortunately, this means that the person that you've been seeing is probably not that interested in you. They might just not know how to break it off, or they might be stringing you along because they're not that interested, but they kind of want to keep you on the back burner in case they are free and don't have any plans, which sounds terrible. And unfortunately, there are people like this. So you have to be careful and you have to know yourself. If you find that you are really liking this person and getting attached and they are pulling themselves away from you, you have to be strong enough to pull back as well and say, "I deserve better than this. I don't need to waste my time and my energy on somebody who is not willing to spend the same amount of time and energy on me." They might come back to you and start talking to you again with a legitimate reason. Maybe they've been super busy and couldn't talk as much. That does happen, but don't hold your breath on that. Just move on. There are plenty of other fish in the sea. Question 6. Is it wrong if I don't want to have a serious relationship? Once again, no, it is completely okay to not want to date anybody seriously. It is okay if you are just interested in casual dating. Tons of people are interested in casual dating. This is people who are my age in their 20s. These are older people. These are younger people. You don't have to want to have this long-term serious relationship. I am one of those people who does enjoy being in a long-term relationship. I enjoy making that kind of genuine connection and knowing a person. Of course, I've been in a relationship for a couple of years now, so that might be where that's coming from. But there are plenty of people, and I have plenty of friends who aren't interested in long-term relationships. They just want to date more casually, and that is totally fine. And also, if you don't want to date at all, like I said before, that is totally fine too. You can find just as much fulfillment and happiness without having any sort of romantic entanglements at all. It's all up to you. You do you, and you do what makes you happy. However, I will say, if you are only interested in casual relationships, be upfront with the people that you're dating. Let them know that you are not looking for something long-term. Otherwise, you might end up stringing them along or leading them on or manipulating them, and that's not cool. Just tell people what it is you're interested in. be upfront. Not everybody is a fragile China doll and is going to shatter when you tell them that you don't love them deeply. Just be honest. Question 7. Is it wrong to get jealous? Now, this question is a little bit more difficult because I wouldn't say it is wrong to feel jealousy. I think you are totally entitled to feel your own feelings. And I think everyone gets uncomfortable or doesn't feel very happy when the person that they like or the person that they're dating is talking to someone and that person is clearly being flirty with them. It's a hard sight to see. Nobody wants to see it. However, if you take it to another level and you start screaming or getting really upset and angry and accusing your significant other, that's a whole nother story. And I mean, it can be hard. I think a lot of people, especially when you've gone through relationships where you have been cheated on, or you've gone through experiences where the people weren't that trustworthy or weren't that upfront with you about things, it can leave you with some trust issues and some scars. But you have to make sure that you're not bringing your old baggage into your new relationships. I mean, everyone has baggage, but you can't push it on another person and put those expectations on them and just expect them to fail, because then you're setting yourself and your relationship up to fail. Now, I will say that if you are constantly feeling insecure in your relationship, that is an issue and you need to bring it up with your partner, because maybe they are a naturally flirtatious person and they don't realize that their behavior is bothering you. So you have to feel comfortable enough to talk to them about it and let them know that, yeah, when they flirt with other people, whether it be other girls, other guys, it does bother you. You don't like it. And then maybe you can open up a genuine dialogue and a genuine conversation. So the two of you can set up, what exactly is flirty. You can talk about that and discuss that further and see if their expectations are reasonable or if they are unreasonable. And if you still feel insecure and like you can't trust this person, you need to self-examine yourself, and you also need to examine the relationship, because maybe there is something going on that could be a red flag, and it could mean that this is not the person that you're supposed to be with. Question number 8. Is it normal that my significant other and I fight all the time? This is another one of those questions that it's kind of difficult because there are different descriptions and people think of fighting in different ways. Now, if you are bickering and teasing each other a lot and maybe it bugs you, that's not uncommon and it's not abnormal. If your partner teases you about something and it actually does really bother you and hurts your feelings, then you should let them know. Maybe it's not something they should be teasing you about. Maybe it's something you're really sensitive about. And if you let them know, you guys can talk about it and they probably won't tease you about it anymore, which is great. And if you guys bicker over a small thing, where you guys are going to eat tonight, or who gets to be designated driver, or who's going to do the dishes this time, and things like that. I mean, if it's little small arguments, that's totally fine. It's totally normal. I think all couples do that. But if it is kind of blowing up and blowing out of proportion, there's so many things that couples can fight about. And if you find that you're fighting about the same thing over and over and over again, and you're getting into screaming matches and you're hurting each other's feelings, and it's getting to the point where you're just unhappy more than you're happy, that's not okay. That is a really big sign that there's something wrong in the relationship. Maybe you guys just aren't clicking, maybe you're not communicating properly, and you need to be able to talk about things without getting into screaming matches. I mean, of course, express your feelings. You should feel comfortable enough to cry in front of your partner if you need to, but don't. It's also hard because I feel like sometimes we expect too much from other people as well. So I would say keep an open dialogue with your partner. Try your best to talk about things in a calm and respectful way. And if you find that you guys are still fighting and you're never resolving any of your issues, I mean, people fight, but if you never come to a peaceful resolution, that's a problem. And that could mean that, once again, you're not with the right person, or there are just really serious issues that you need to address and look at in your relationship and see, can we fix these things, or is it time to let go? Question number 9, what is the best way to break up with someone? There is no perfect way to break up with someone. I think in almost every situation, someone's feelings are going to get hurt, but the best way to do it is to be respectful and to be honest. So many people, they kind of lie or tell half-truths when they're breaking up with someone because they think they're being kind. You're not being kind. You're being patronizing, and you're saying that this person can't handle the truth, and they can. I mean, don't be cruel, don't be mean, but just explain that you're not feeling it anymore and that it's time to move on, or maybe there is an issue in the relationship and that's what's causing you to end it. You have to be honest with this person, especially if you respect them and care about them. And also, I would say, always try to break up in person. Face to face is so much better than over the phone. Over the phone is like a last resort. Like if you are in two different places, a long distance relationship, you're on two separate continents or in two separate states, and there's no way that you guys can possibly see each other anytime soon, and you don't want to put it off for too long because you think that would be cruel, then it's okay to do it, via Skype or FaceTime or on the phone. Never ever break up with someone via text or email or by letter. It is cowardly. It is cold, and it's just not respectful to what the two of you had. It's not cool, and you're gonna leave that person with a really terrible memory of you. And the last question, number 10, this is a question that is going to leave things on a much lighter note because I know it just got kind of sad and real just now with those last few questions. So question number 10 is, when is the right time to say I love you? And this is something that varies across relationships. Some people say it after only a couple months. Some people say it after a couple of years. It depends on you and when it feels right for you. The only advice I would have on this is make sure you really mean it when you say I love you. Don't just say it because you think the other person is expecting it, or because you think that, you guys have been dating long enough and you have to say it. Like, only say it if you really feel it and really mean it. And if you say I love you, don't necessarily expect your partner to say it back to you right away, and don't pressure them into saying it to you if they don't say it right away, because everyone comes to that on their own time. You don't want someone to say I love you to you if they don't mean it. You want them to say it because they mean it, it's genuine, it's what they feel in their heart. So yeah, just be patient with people, only say it if you truly mean it, and you'll know when the right time is for you, because you'll feel it in your heart and it'll be way too hard for you not to say it. So that's when you should probably tell the person how you've been feeling and say, hey man, I love you. Alrighty guys, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you're enjoying this Just Chatting series and want to see more, let me know in the comments below, and also give me ideas for topics I can do in the future. The idea for today's video came from my friend and fellow YouTuber, CX8 Shalik. I will link her channel somewhere here at the end card. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. I post brand new videos every week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.